Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what literally happened. It might happen again. I don't know, but I've never had it pull up like an internal error and just shut it down, which was super weird. Hopefully it doesn't do it again. I gotta share this all again. So, let me do it again. Do, 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 do. There we go. Hopefully we'll get some of you guys back in here. Not sure what happened on that, to be honest with you. Hopefully it, there you go. Looks like it's coming in a little more clear. Take that back. Share this again. I hope stays up this time. See if I can edit this one. Oops. Take that out. That one in. Hopefully. What's up, Bobby? Hopefully this live feed will stay up this time. It messed with some internal error last time and shut everything down. So hopefully this one will stay up. Go back to all the ones I shared. Make sure I put in the new things. Yeah, Tom, we're trying, buddy. I've never had that before, and I know it's not our internet. Our internet's not slow or anything. It just pulled up like an internal error and shut the whole feed and everything down, which was super weird. Never had that before, so I'm gonna try to share the new link to everybody. That way, got to got everyone coming to this right spot, other than not the old one. Ready for a comp in the morning, huh? Hey, seems like a lot of people have got some stuff going on. There's the post. Let me. Oh man, I just did that wrong. No, Tom, it wasn't your internet. I rarely ever have a problem with our internet, but something happened on the computer or whatnot. I'm not sure. So, it definitely said it was not happy. So now I'm going back and trying to edit all the posts that I did. So everyone's got the right one they're going to. Let's see if it'll do a new updated one. Probably not. I'll probably just delete this post then. Discard, delete. Sorry, guys. I didn't plan on it being this complicated today. See if that'll work this time. There we go. Oh, Bobby's getting ready for a comp. Tom, what are you up to tonight, buddy? Anything good? There we go. Now I can kind of watch. Hopefully everything stays good. Like I said, we're just doing a little work on the MOA. Got to mess with the tires here. I destroyed one at Fall Crawl last year when I was comping. I just shattered the whole wheel. It got bound up and grab the truck here. So it got bound up in the knuckle in here, and then obviously the Team Brood stubbies didn't really care, so it just wadded this up and then just shattered the whole wheel and broke it and kept spinning and kept going. So I still had the one good one on this side, luckily. David, my team driver, we took his front wheels off and put them on this, and I was able to finish out the course at least. But needed to finally get one back together. I finally found my scissors somewhere that I was looking for earlier. Maybe didn't bring them over. I don't know. I'm a hot mess tonight. What up, Eric? I don't know what I did with them now. Went over here and got them. Apparently didn't put it on the table. There they are. Nice little fun-filled day. Went out to K&K Swap Meet. It was super nice. Eric was there. Seen Eric. Lots of people, lots of good stuff. Hopefully everyone got out there and got some good deals on some good parts and whatnot. So this was not my best cut. I couldn't find my scissors earlier today. I think we'll be all right though. We'll glue it down. Working on my class 1 Jekyll. What up, Scott? Scott? Tom, printing 3D inserts. What are you printing, bud? Wheels are optional equipment. That's right. I wish. They don't always stay together for me, that's for sure. I think we'll be all right. Trying to feel what. So loaded dice are just crazy. You know, they're just held together just by a little bit of glue on some G10 rings, basically. So you gotta do them just right. You gotta take your time, work around. Class 1 Jekyll. Oh, I gotta find my blues. Got a lot here somewhere. Should have probably found that before I start. It's not in there. Oh, it's crazy. D44 RC Next Level foams for my wife's Diva car. Yeah, there you go. Diva class, huh? Guys, forgive me. I'm trying to find. I swore I had it sitting right here. We all know how that works. Soldering station. All right. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. There we go. Yeah, I had it sitting here. It's just right around the corner. Couldn't see it. Yeah, Michael, we're back. I don't know what happened with that. It was It was going wild. Internet just shut it down, and here we are. There we go. Crack that loose. Sometimes that glue always gets stuck. There. Get my fingers all glued to the tire here shortly. I really hate how I cut this tire. Does not look great, that's for sure. What you up to tonight, Michael? Anything good? We'll be all right. Doesn't look the best, but we'll make it work. Always fun working with the old super glue. About 4 or 5 spots should be good. Seems very, very. It'll flatten out. Getting a few rigs ready to test. That's nice. Got a comp tomorrow. Who's all comping tomorrow? There's a ton of people comping tomorrow, apparently. Hopefully, I'll be able to get out and do that soon with some weather coming up. Series finals here at 23 RC. Nice, nice. Yeah, weather's starting to get a little bit nicer, so everyone's getting that bug, getting that itch. Woo, woo. Touch the super glue. Don't touch it. I should back that out a little bit. Much you always try to make these look nice. Sometimes it just doesn't work. There we go. We're getting there. We'll make it work. 124th comps, huh? What's up, Tyler? Straight axle battle axe. I believe a couple have, man. There's been a couple people talk about it, I think, on the fan page. I like the portals, man. I mean, I've never had any issues. I mean, portals are just a different game, It's a different driving style. Your trucks are definitely have to be set up different. That's for sure than straight axle. Try to trim these up a little nicer. There we go. What up, Riz? I love my boy Rez, guys. If you're not tuned in to his YouTube channel, do it. Rez Rolling on YouTube. Tons and tons of corrupt rigs doing work. Beautiful channel. Everyone doing 120. Listen, we never really got into the 24. I mean, around here, we never got into the 24 comps, 124 scale. It just never got super popular here. So I just never really got into them. And I really made these narrow. We'll see how they work. Same here in New Jersey. Get some of this. I don't like them. They're too small. Yeah, I mean, 124s, man, that's a tiny, tiny car. There we go. I want that stuck up there to that. I mean, it really is. They are tiny, tiny trucks. I mean, 110 scale sometimes can push it with me, but 124 scale, I don't know. Only reason not every full size comp car is running portals is because the cost. So many minimal costs for tiny trucks is no brainer to go portal. Yeah, I mean that, and if you do anything like if you watch King of Hammers or anything like that, you can watch like say the laser nut car. That's a full portal rig, independent suspension, and things like that. Um, he does amazing every year. That rig is just getting stout, more and more stout every year. It's just something small that always happens to him that puts him out. One year he was in the running to be the king, and just something right in the end of the race happened, and uh, that put him out of it. But when you look into the portals and the small tiny trucks like we do now, yeah, it's not that big of a deal for the small rigs, but in the big rigs, you have so much more moving parts, and sometimes that just takes a big toll on them, and you see that big time in King of Hammers. So just the amount that they have to beef and make everything more beefy to handle that, or to be able to extend that longevity is definitely something crazy. But they're coming around, and when they get it figured out, like they almost have, I know Laser Nuts almost got it figured out, and when they do, it's going to be one heck of a force to reckon with. That's for sure. Because, like you said, the only downfall or non-benefit that they have is it raises up your lower center of gravity, but doing things like that or rock crawling, yeah, raising your center of gravity maybe on a side hill isn't great, but portals on a breakover and things like that, or through a rock pile instead of just smooth rock is definitely, there's an advantage there compared to an advantage or disadvantage when it comes to a lot of rolling rock. Big huge rocks that roll up and down. Straight axles are almost king on those because it keeps you low. You don't really have to worry about the jagged edges everywhere like you would in a rock pile. So it's a give and take, really. Portals are awesome, but more moving parts, more possibilities of things to break. But then at the same time, you gain advantage with clearance and things like that. So straight axles are extremely durable, less things to break. They've always been tank, well, always. Different brands make different things, but or different brands design their products differently, but you get like a solid straight axle F9 from Vanquish, or a straight axle from Super Shaft. They're tanks. You almost can't break them. So disadvantages, advantages for sure, advantages. Reaper build. This thing is going to be nasty. Genius design on this chassis. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Hope to meet you and pick your brain at Beat the Creek, man. We will be there. We'll be set up in full force. Just come to the canopy and hang out. We usually set up two canopies. One of them's 13 by 26, and the other one's 10 by 20. So that's usually if any of my team drivers are there, they can come hang out in the back behind, in the canopy back there in the back and work on the rigs or anything like that. So we are definitely set up at full force at Beat the Creek. We love Beat the Creek. We love the Hauke family, Chris, all of them that put that together. It is awesome for sure. We love that event. Um, Here, these past couple of years, it's gotten so big, we don't really get to get out and actually enjoy it like we used to. Go out and trail because you kind of can't just shut the whole, canopy or tent down. I mean, you can, but then you got to load it all in the trailer, come back, and then load it all back out. So, um, it's not the easiest thing to do, but this year we're going to try to get out there and do a little trailing. The wife enjoys trailing at Joe's at Beat the Creek. It's an amazing event, amazing trails. They do such a good job and having such, laid out nice and clean. Um, it's a shame to go there and not be able to trail. So we're definitely making it a priority to get out there this year for sure. Get these glued up so I don't get glued to them. What do we got? Oh yeah, Chili. Side by sides for sure. And that comes into factor too. Is side by sides these days are so beefy and powerful too. I mean, look at the ones like I said that run at King of Hammers. They're running 35-inch tires. That's what I run on my F-150 basically. And for a side by side to be able to run those and still stay together and handle everything, that's a tough truck or a tough unit for sure. So when you look at a side by side and the weight of it compared to a weight of a full size, but they're running almost the same size internals probably than a standard portal. I would assume with them running almost the same size standard tire. Uh, so less weight of a vehicle, being able to run the same size beefy parts. Yeah, you definitely have a little bit more reliability there than you would maybe on a full size. But that's awesome. They're getting there. Haven't watched King of Hammers in a couple years. Well, they're like any other sport. They're sport specific. You can't go take a racing, Formula One car out on the road. Can't go take a NASCAR out on the road. It's sport specific. So if you are dedicated to run King of Hammers or U4 competitions all year, then you build a vehicle that's competitive in U4 style racing. So that statement I don't really understand. No offense, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's not your everyday Joe's truck to go out and four wheel with, but they built a vehicle specific for that sport. So, and it's not like King of Hammers is the only event that's like that. Ultra Four races all year long at different events. So it's uh it's just like I said, sport specific. Yeah, Jason, you run 35s on yours. So yeah, that goes back to kind of what I'm talking about, side by sides, basically um, running full size parts or full size, you know, gears and portals and things like that, but the vehicle itself weighs less. So, a little bit less wear and tear on the unit itself. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. We rock crawling for sure. Yeah, King of Hammers trucks definitely run, and they have their own sport. U4 runs all year long for sure. Rock, yeah, We Rock is awesome. That's what RC cars are based off of, or the 1/10 scale crawling was based off of, and where it started was let's make 1/10 scale RC trucks and try to make them close to We Rock rules and do that. So yeah, that's definitely where it started. Super nice. Yeah, Mitten is coming up for sure. But yeah, like I said, that's sport specific though. You can't take a moon buggy anywhere else. What's it gonna do? Tom, if you go out with a laser nut moon buggy, what else is it gonna do but climb big rocks? It can't trail with it. They're too slow. So it's just another sport specific build. What up, Michael? Well, good to see you here. Good to see you here. What we got? 15 watching, man. You guys have got nothing going on this weekend, huh? Let's put one of these wheels on one of these sides. Look how skinny and narrow that thing is. I'll take that. I just tried these. I tried some 6.0 foams, heavyweight centers, soft outers. So these are going to be fronts for the MOA. This is what my original one had in it. And I'm going to make one to this back together. Excuse me. So it had the standard, and I think this is a medium, and I would say it's probably a 5.5, not a 6.0. But Moon buggies all over the East Coast. Well, I mean, I guess you could trail with a moon buggy, a slow trail. I mean, you could do that. I guess you could do that. Well, I was thinking more just along the lines of, laser nuts, big moon buggies, and that are just lightweight, specific to build we or run we rock, and that's about it. I don't see too many moon buggies around here. Ohio doesn't really have any. I mean, I could be looking at the wrong place, but too many moon buggies that I've seen. Yeah, that's good, Tom. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you could build a moon buggy and make it capable of we rock and or performance driven and we rock and still be able to go out there and trail with it, that's awesome. That's just cool to be able to do that. Um, I just haven't seen a whole lot of people around here do that. So that's awesome if you can. I always thought they were geared so low that you can't really do anything with them, but basically we rock, big rocks, climb, and competition. I am not going to the spring shootout, Mike. That was right on my fishing trip time. So I have a fishing trip I go on each year with my best friend and his family. We've done it since we've been 18, since we were allowed. And that is where I'll be during that time. Unfortunately, that's just my luck. AJ's time that he picks for there was a time that I had already had scheduled out and down for the fishing trip since last year. So, but I mean, things like that happen. It is what it is. Not supposed to stick there. Woo! The glue is sticky today. Hope I got that centered enough. It just barely touched that rubber and it was on there. Get it off that lip there a little bit. Electric moon buggy this year won't be trailable, but he knows it. Electric moon buggy, that's kind of cool to hear. Wheel is sitting a little crooked. We might be all right. I tried to flatten or cut the flats out of the backside. I may have missed some. Well, it's glued now. It's not going anywhere. So there's one. His wedding October 5th, so I told him lucky. I will be at ECC, Mike, for sure. We definitely don't want to miss ECC. We like ECC. Beautiful place, beautiful area. Trace is definitely going to put on a good competition, and rocks there are super, super nice, awesome. So, oh, this one's like that too. Cool. Well, there's one down. Let's work on another one. Let's build two of them. All right, here we go. And watching. So, is anybody this stuff here? I know a lot of the scale guys probably chime in. Don't know much about MOAs or anything like that. This is how the loaded dice style wheels go together from Deluxe. You basically have two rings like this. They'll go together like this. Hard to show. Like that, all the way around with these standoffs. You'll have four standoffs. Foam will go around that. And then the tire, you have to cut the lip off that basically protrudes straight down. That would maybe get locked in a bead. You cut that off and then you glue it to the face of this, and then you do that on both sides, and then you glue the actual carbon or G10 face to the tire after that. So we're going to try to make it to ECC. Maybe we'll be okay. Hey, Rock, Rez, I didn't know if you guys were coming to ECC or not. You don't have to. I know that's a long trip for sure for you guys. But that's definitely a really cool rock and everything, or area to crawl on. They got some awesome rocks there. A lot of people even rock climb there. So it's definitely a cool place. Tom, yeah, we're gonna do some Chupa panels here. I still have to update the file of what AJ changed from the previous, and then I need to. I'll get some cut out of the forged carbon probably. That way you guys can have some colors. It's just we've got a lot going on all at the same time, so um I know people are wanting the Chupa panels. I definitely know that, and the moon buggy craze is getting crazy, so more Chupas are being sold and more people want panel kits, so I'm on it. We just have to adjust the file and then cut some out for sure. Only live once. That's right, Rez. Only live once. Hey, I can't say too much. I've been blessed to what Krup's been able to do for me and my wife, and we've definitely been able to travel and see some really cool places, meet some really cool people, and just because of this hobby. So we're super blessed with this hobby and what's become of it. All right. So with these phones, you gotta trim them. Gotta basically cut some off, which how I did the last one. Basically, the inside I'm gonna cut because that's about to the width it needs to be on that ring right there. I just went crazy. Got a knife and just started cutting it. Wasn't too bad actually if you lay it flat, kind of squish it. Take the knife to that lip and start cutting it. CI makes phones made for loaded dice. I just didn't have any, and I already had these open, so I thought, hey, let's go old school. Let's do it the old school way and open the phones up. See, just cut that out. It's not perfect. You can check both sides. I obviously didn't get it perfect over here. Trim off what you didn't get. Doesn't have to be the prettiest as long as it works. Bit more right there. There we go. There you go, Tom. Yeah, if you can get your kids or your family into it, that's awesome. My wife does get out and crawl every now and then, but she's more worried about for up when we go somewhere. So sometimes she's a little bit more focused on making sure everything in the canopy's running right or everything at the booth is going okay. So sometimes she doesn't get to enjoy it as much as I would like her to be able to enjoy it. But, that's the way it goes sometimes. We're both, we got a great team that's there with us most of the time at any event that helps us answer any questions and such. So we do what we can. If we can get out and trail or we can get out and comp, we will. But sometimes it's not always in the cards. Trail backpacks in black at any time soon. J Bone, we might. We've been selling those backpacks so long. I think it's going on 6 years now. We might look to change it up. I'm not sure. It has been an amazing backpack, and sorry, I was reading. It's been an amazing backpack, and people absolutely love them. So I'm not sure if we want to change it or not. But a lot of people say maybe a little bit bigger of a backpack might be nice. So we designed our duffel and had our duffel custom made, and we've sold a lot of those. We still have a lot left in stock of that. Um, we thought that'd be a little bit bigger hit than it was, but wasn't. But anybody that's ever bought one absolutely loves it. Um, so when it comes to backpack, we might hit the drawing board again to rethink our backpack and design it up, and same thickness, same strong material, and maybe put a new one out. Because, like I said, we've sold that backpack for 6 years now. We haven't changed a thing, which doesn't mean anything bad or wrong. But it's just maybe it's time for something new with our same quality and same thickness of material and waterproof and that type deal. We're dancing around the idea, or we just might just have more made the way that we've always made them and be done. Don't know yet. So on the last one, I cut all this to match the wheel, which is probably why it's so thin. But I think that's going to work. I'm going to do it to this one so they match. But Tom Sewell could beat some of us in a comp. Hey, it's not hard to beat me in a comp. You know, if I make one mistake, I'm in my own head and it's over with. Um, it's just always been the way I drive. It kind of upsets me because I make one mistake and I think I'm out of the running, but then when it comes down to the end of the comp, I'm still, fifth or sixth place, you know, and I made that mistake. So I thought I was out, but I really not crazy amount out. So I probably should have concentrated a little bit more. But that's the name of the game. Anymore, I just like going and having fun. If I'm in the running, that's awesome. That's a bonus. But if I'm not, I don't get too upset about it. And watching. Guys, we're just cutting foams. We're making our own foams here for MOA tires. If you're just joining us, nothing crazy. Doing it the old school way here, trimming to fit stuff and make some different foams. If you don't have them, you make them. Oh, I cut that one kind of thin. Whew, maybe a little too thin on that one. We'll see. That one's seriously thin. Well, that's going to work. I think my other one was that thin. I think I did that one too. Might have to get another. That one might have been too much. All right. Let's try this again. This is how you experiment. A lot of guys will sand these down, but I did not feel like making that much of a mess, even though I got the sander right next to me. All right, so we're just going to trim these up a little bit. Probably, I might just, maybe right at the edge of this. See if I can get that, just cut the edges off maybe. Let me bring that down. Where's the Pro Rig at? It's sitting over here on the side. Boom. So just a deluxe one. All done up nice and pretty. Team Brood stubbies, dual BR minis, Gravtex. We've got obviously the deluxe lights, big weights, aluminum knuckles, all the goodies. Hard to see it, I know. So, just playing around, Like I said, I destroyed a tire at Fall Crawl last year, and I still needed to make a new one for the front. So, I figured, well, I got some time tonight. If I get through this high dents, there we go. So, might as well try to get it knocked out. Man, high dents foam it's just that. It's a thick foam to try to get through. I'll try to do this one a little bit wider than it was on the last cut there. Just right after this first ridge. Just to leave it the right width so it can still side hill pretty well. Still make the tire. I think my knife's getting a little dull. Yeah. It's always good to try things, they don't always work, that's for sure, but hey, that's okay. That's why you experiment. That's what made the hobby what it is now. You know, People trying new things, finding out what works, what doesn't work, and that's how we got to where we are right now in this hobby. Not everything's supposed to be just a bolt and go. What's the fun in that? I'm making this one just as thin, just about. Man, I don't know how I did the first one so nice and perfect. Yeah, that looks a little better. Not as much taken off. Oh well, that one will be. So we can get to the sharper end of the blade. There we go. That helps. It's definitely not perfect, that's for sure. Not as thin as that one, though. In some places it might be. Clean up the edges here. Yeah, there's so much in this hobby. It's just everyone's all about bolt and go, but everyone's forgot how to tune and forgot how to actually build and do something themselves. It's become sad, really, to be honest with you. There we go. We're still thin, but a little bit wider than that thinner cut there. Plus the big foam's gonna come over the edge a little bit. I don't have my belt sander or anything, otherwise we could have did it a little bit nicer, but hey, we'll see how it works. That's pretty thin. We get a big foam on it. This I have to typically cut too. Not the nicest and cleanest way. Usually like to cut about a quarter of it off. Crazy. But gotta do your own thing sometimes. And this might not work at all, you know? It might be horrible. But that's what makes the world go round. Trying new things. Cut a little bit off, fit it in there so it fills the top of the tread of the tire. But we've got that real stout sidewall. This is going to skinny the front tires up a little bit. SS Deluxe front, yeah. Capra rear. I'll tell you what, SS Deluxe makes, those SS Deluxe axles are gorgeous. Can't say anything bad about them, that's for sure. I've got them on my Class 3 also. They're not always the funnest thing to build, that's for sure, but they are gorgeous once you do it. Once you learn how to build them, it's fine. There's no issues at all. All right, so flip these inside out. We got to cut basically the rib that sticks up this thing just about off all the way around, so this isn't like that. You can lay it flat on the tire. Tend to cut into it, fold it up, and then cut around. Body scissors, curved ones work great for this, at least for me. It's not always the cleanest cut though. Just try to take your time. It's not clean at all, but I used to have a real tiny pair of real sharp scissors for this, and man, they would leave a nice, just clean cut. I think I let somebody borrow them one time at a comp and never seen them again. I think they were cutting some tires. Couldn't tell you who. Always try to help anybody at the comp that I can. If I've got the tools or anything, I will. There it goes. Soon, not done yet. There it goes. Side cut. Emailed them thinking they sent me servo mounts and they had to explain to me that was mounting it. I was mounting it wrong. Yeah, they're tricky to mount, man. They're tricky to build. They really are. But once they're built, like I said, it's a gorgeous axle. I mean, and they do work all around. So I've watched Jason, I've watched JJ, run those axles, and it's amazing to watch those guys run when they've had time to really sit out and think about the product, design it, build it, test it, and when you get out at a competition with them and see it in work, or at work, basically, it's an amazing feat. You know why you will see why they designed it that way, because they know that it's going to, you know, that little bit that they added is going to add that little bit of a breakover where they need it, or the servo being that low is it's going to put the weight where they wanted it, and then their chassis are designed around that. It's just a lot of thinking goes into it. A lot of great products coming out from Deluxe that um, can't be mad about. That's for sure. Can't say anything bad about that. Those guys, great guys, great products, great company to work with, uh, great stuff to sell, great customer service. So we need some more of that in this hobby. Not everyone's like that these days. It used to be, but not everyone's like that. It's got more cutthroat these days. Everybody's out for that almighty dollar and don't care about anybody anymore. Tom, they tried. I believe they tried. I don't know what all happened or entailed with all of that, so it's none of my business to put out or talk about. So, but I do know, I will tell you that they tried. So, and to be honest with you, Deluxe makes some killer links by length right now that you could just go to their website and buy. So, I don't think it really hurt them or helped them that situation. So, um, they make amazing links that you can buy by the length right now, and if people would literally sit down and just take a breather when it comes to their links and look at it and measure, man, this hobby would be so much further on. Sorry, my printer went crazy. Still going crazy. But this hobby would be so much further along if people weren't so just scared to death to measure a link and order them by the length from like people like Deluxe or Hardcore. If you could sit there and measure it out and say, okay, I want to put one sharp bend in it, so that's going to add 3, maybe 4 millimeters, depending on how big the bend is. Oh man, if people would just literally sit there and do that and not be so scared to death to order links or bend links, shoot, we'd be having it right now. Because I can't tell you how many people, oh, I want to order the Jekyll and Hyde, but I want to use TRX4 front axle and AR45 rear axle. Do you have links for that? No, no, I don't. It's pretty custom. And well, I can't order it unless I have links for it. And if you can't give me a link kit, then I probably won't be able to order it. And I'm like, um, you're wanting a full custom setup, so can't you have your axles, have the chassis, measure it out, and say, okay, this is where I want 13-inch wheelbase. This is how I want it to sit. Okay, this measures out roughly 95 millimeters. All right, minus 14 for the thread or for the rod ends. So that's your rod length. And if you need straight fronts, boom, you've already figured that out. So let's do the rear. It's the same way. If you're measuring 100 and you know 84 basically millimeters from eye to eye, you need a 170 millimeter rod. Okay, you want to add 2 bends or one big bend to it, add another 4 millimeters. So 175 millimeter rod, put you a bend in it, put some rod ends on it, boom, you've got your rear link. It's literally that easy. But for some reason, this hobby has grown so scared and so worried about not being able to make a link. It's just unbelievable to me. I just never understood it. You know, if you're going to build a truck or build a car, everybody wants to do it all at the same time. So if you want to build you a custom truck, set it down, set your axles out. You can drill a piece of metal at the same wheelbase you need, bolt them to it, or you can do like a linky jig, or not linky jig, but a swindler's grip like we have, bolt it into it, and then you do that. So it's just, or then you measure it out and then you calculate it. Most of the websites tell you if you're using like the Traxxas rod ends, it's minus 14 millimeters off of your rod that you need for your eye to eye. So if you need 184, you take 14 off, you need a 170 millimeter rod. That's it. I wish Hardcore would tell you what lengths you're ordering because his kits are cheaper than ordering individual. Yeah, I mean, Tom, that's the same way though, but he doesn't also have to, he doesn't have to tell you, because if you set your truck out like you could literally grab you a fabric tape measure and measure it out in millimeters, or I used to tell people all the time, grab a pipe cleaner, wrap it, that's your length, lay it out, measure it. Yeah, and your link total just to get them adjusted the same. Yeah, my the linky for sure. Yeah, get them adjusted the same. I mean, and even if you didn't have the linky jig, if you set them down and you literally line up the edge of your one rod end to the other one, you can tell if one's off on the other end. You don't have to try to do it to eye. Just you have the same edge of the bottom of the rod end. Line those up, and then if the other two line up exactly the same at the edge, then that link is the exact same length. People are just scared to put a bend in them. They're like, oh, I don't have a vise. I mean, you can literally buy a little tiny vise like this and be able to put a bend in it. It literally clamps right onto your table. You know, Harbor Freight sells a clamp-on vise for a little of nothing. So it's just the hobby's grown so much into the world of just have it done for me. So when it gets to me, I just put it together and go. That it's gotten bad, really. You know, make me a kit. Make me a kit. Oh well, I want the kit to have this axle and this axle and this axle. Well, it's no longer a kit; it's custom, and you know, it's just venting. But it's just gotten bad these days. But that's what makes the world go round. Not everybody wants to do that stuff. So companies like myself and Hardcore and Deluxe try to accommodate as many things as we can, and unfortunately, that doesn't always account for everything. But you do what you can and move on. Yep, 12 gauge solid copper wire for sure. Man, I couldn't tell you how many times back in the day that I literally mocked up my links with pipe cleaners and then took them off and measured it out. And I was like, okay, that's the length of my link right there. It's literally that simple, but people are just scared to death of links. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, scared to death to try to do their own links. They'll send me a message, oh, hey, do you know what links I need? And I'm like, no, that's kind of more of a custom setup. I'm sorry, I really don't. And then they're like, oh, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it then. And you're like, what do you mean? I seen somebody literally ask for the length when they already had the link. They're like, well, I don't want to take it off my truck and measure it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So you're going to sit here on the post and beg somebody to give you a length when you have it right in front of you? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Ooh, this one's getting a little touchy. Oh yeah, Mike. I mean, if you're commenting on from what I said, I mean, I promise you that that is a real scenario. I mean, somebody I've seen it multiple times. Oh, I have it right here, but I want a kit, or I need to know the length to order a new one. I bent this, and I'm like, okay, well, your link's right there. It's just bent. Just bend it back straight, or bend it close to it, measure it out, and I mean, you're there. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'll mess it up somehow. And you're like, how can you mess it up? It's right in front of you. But welcome to the new world. That's how it works. When we do our kits, corrupt, deluxe, anybody, when you do your kits, you try your best to prepare for everything that somebody might want. But there's always somebody that wanted something completely custom, and then they're upset and mad at you that you don't have it for it, and you're just like, dude, that's a custom build. Like, what do you want from me? And it's the same way with let's say like the Jekyll and Hyde and the Ninja, the Katana, any of those. So when we build those kits, you can't do a link kit for every axle. I mean, I would stock hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different link kits, and I just can't do that. Physically, that would be crazy, and uh, just business wise is just ridiculous the amount of money. Um, so you want to pick an axle that you're familiar with, that and build them geared towards that axle. I found that's been the best for the Jekyll and Hyde, the Ninja, and all that. We geared the Ninja for an AR-45 and an F10, and then we geared the Jekyll and Hyde for just F10 or CP43. F10s and CP43s are pretty much identical. So if it's geared towards an F10, it's geared towards a CP43 from Super Shafty. So when you do that and you just stay on that, people can hopefully gauge after that of what they need to do. So if they're like, "Oh, I'm running SS Lux," I said, "Well, ours are made for F10s. SS Lux or SS Deluxe are a little wider. You might have to adjust your rod ends or anything like that." So you try to give them the heads up that you can. But then the same way, like I said, people get upset. They're like, "Well, I mean, those are the axles I want to use, so can't you just make me a link kit?" Like, no, because I just don't have every axle laying around to mock it up. So F10s are available, CP43s are available. You can purchase those, you can put them on and test. If you don't like how it's sitting, you can put some longer rod ends on, or if the rear isn't how you like it, but the front's fine, then you can measure out your rear links and order you some. And that's not the typical answer anybody wants to hear. So um, I'm sure I have lost a lot of sales probably over the years because of that, but at the same time, I can't have $30,000 worth of links sitting here. So it's not smart. Ever since I read the Sorka rules, I've wanted to put an VFD twin in a class 3. It has taken me almost a year with parts from a bunch of different companies, mocked up 4 versions, and now hopefully have it done. I mean, Tom, yeah, I mean that's how RC used to be. You picked your axle, you picked your trans, and then you pick your chassis, and then you're like, all right, this is what I want to work, or this is what I want to do, and you figured it out. It might have took you, like you said, 4 renditions of building the truck to get it, but at the end of the day, you built what you wanted. It wasn't a kit. It wasn't everyone handing you everything you needed. You took a piece of Delrin or a piece of plastic, a piece of aluminum, you bent it, you drilled some holes, you made something work. Um, 3D printers nowadays, man, if people made stuff back in the day easier than people do now when you have access to a 3D printer, you know? You can buy a 3D printer at Micro Center or something like that and Ender 3 for $200 nowadays, man. If you could sit down and teach yourself how to draw something up on CAD and print it out, I mean, shoot. Man, if we had the access to that back in the day, we could have did all kinds of really cool stuff. And we have access to it now. That's why the cool things are coming out. But back in the day, we didn't have that. We were cutting aluminum, like I said, you were getting big, thick freaking rods of Delrin and drilling and cutting and tapping and you know. I talk, talking with the team drivers, Colby and all them, Colby's been in it way longer than I have when it comes to rock crawling. David Zacharias, same way. Tyler Ferryman. I mean, when I moved from my previous house to this new house here, the stuff I found in my old RC room, I mean, I'm talking, you know, quarter-inch thick sheets of Delrin that I've literally hand cut stuff out of, and then you could tell that I remember making the parts, drilling holes to hold a servo in, and things like that. That was how the hobby was. When you showed up, people were looking at each other's trucks, and you're trying to figure out what that part's for and what it's doing, and then you're like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And then you go home and you're like, "Oh, okay, I want to put my winch here or my servo here," and you looked at it, you designed something up in cardboard, laid out on a piece of aluminum, or in my case, carbon fiber. Man, I used to cut carbon fiber with a scroll saw like you used to use in wood shop. That's how Corrupt Carbon Works started. I made jock hoops on a scroll saw, and then I started making uh, standoff or the braces and stuff, and then I made links out of carbon, and it took so much time to make links and carbon fiber. But that's how I started out. I'd go to work all day. I'd come home. I'd eat dinner. I'd hang out with my wife now. And once she got tired, I'd go downstairs in the RC room and put carbon tubes and glue inserts in them to make links and braces and stuff. And that's how that's how Krupp started, which is crazy to think about. But people don't make stuff like that anymore. People have to have it bolt on. They don't want to design it. They don't want to do that. They don't want to put the work in. And even when you tell somebody how to do it, they still don't want to do it. Well, it sounds like you got all the stuff. Can you just make me a couple? And you're like, well, I don't have time. Glue this on. That was stuck. There we go. Hamburger VP Dig in my class 3. Yes. One Pete Bird shared on the Bucks fan page is mine. See, that's cool. Harley Designs STLs. Yeah. That's Harley puts out some cool stuff. And, he designs some pretty cool stuff. OGAX10. Motorola Razor's Edge. Class battery. Yeah. I mean, crazy, man. Did I show the chassis? If so, can you show it again? What chassis are you talking about? My MOA is a deluxe. It is not anything Corrupt Carbon Works. We have not ventured into that yet. We do have a sporty chassis being tested, and the testing has been very promising. So I can't complain about that. If you are in that scene, you might see one around you being tested by a team driver or Sean. Sean's got one. Yeah, man, the build is always half the fun for me. That's why else are you doing it? If you're going to build something that looks like the next guy standing next to you, that's no fun. If you're going to go to a competition and all of you and your buddies have the exact same truck built the exact same way, ew, no, thank you. How is that any fun? think I put a little too much glue on that one, guys. Got a little carried away there. I'm going to take a little bit. Look at those skinnies. Woo-hoo! One's a little wider. I haven't flattened this one out yet. It'll get there. The more you roll them, the better they'll get. The Warlock, yeah. We do have a Warlock. I do have a Warlock in the house. We haven't talked about that really. In testing, it has definitely been proving itself pretty good. So a little bit more revamp in design, and we'll get there. The Warlock, if anybody wants to know, it is going to be our Sportsman or Sporty chassis. It does have 12 degrees of breakover, and we basically took the Warlock back to basics. There we go. Looks a little better. Yep. Now we're getting there. I took it back to basics when it came to designing. Everything is so complicated these days and so much moving parts, and the Sportsman and MOA it's not that, it's about performance. So I didn't want to build something with crazy amounts of trying to figure out how to put it together or anything like that. I went back to the basics. We designed something super simple, and so far it's been very promising. Try to get this. Like I said, the more of these run, the better they'll get. Warlock's gonna be, yeah, that's right, Chili. So far, I mean, you definitely know. We've definitely put it to the test, and so far it has not done anything we have not asked it to. Yeah, you gotta make your trucks unique to you. Otherwise, it's not your truck at that point, you know? It's just another truck, you know? If you can't set your truck down and somebody sees it and somebody looks at it and goes, "Yeah, that's Austin's truck," then one, you didn't build it right, because they should be able to know that is my truck when I set it down. Not that maybe it's covered with the Jester all over it and such, but at the set, you want people to know that is your truck, no one else's, and they can tell that. The truck should be built to mimic you, mimic your personality, mimic how you like to drive. If you're going to a competition and the three guys behind you have the same truck built the same way, huh, I'm sorry. I call that a Lego build. Everyone's doing the same thing because no one can think outside the box. So they're just like, oh, well, this is the way so and so's got theirs built. That's the way I'm going to build mine. And you know what? There's no fun in that. Call me Mullet Mike. Oops. Send a Sporty up to Washington, Cap. I'll test it. Yeah. We've got, like I said, everybody that's testing it now is team drivers, other than one person. We kind of try to keep it in house, and the only reason is because we're all extremely busy. We all can't get out to test everything. So if I can bring in someone else that I trust to test a product and give me good feedback, I'm going to do it. And I can't say that I could do that with everybody, because you have to think about it. When you cut a prototype, you're taking a gamble. If I've got 14 team drivers that want to test it out. I cut 14 of them. I'm taking a gamble that those 14 are going to be pretty decent, and my team drivers are going to be able to work with that. And we're not going to have to cut another 14 out a week later because we've got something wrong, or really, really bad wrong. So, you take a gamble when it comes to the prototyping. And if you don't take that gamble, say you only do one, then say that person gets busy or something happens and you don't have any more of them done, then now you've taken the gamble of, okay, when's that going to be able to get tested or anything like that? There we go. Back together. Got some front tires on it again. I like it. They're skinny. They'll flatten out with a little bit more use. But I do need to build one more for the factory foams that were in it. So I have a matching set to this one. Yeah. I'm your guy, Cap. I understand. Everybody wants to test. I know. We try our best, guys. We try to do what we can for everybody. If I could send everybody one out to test, I would. But it's not going to happen. What else is everybody up to tonight? Come on, let's see. My orange paint 54 sticker. Give me mine. Why do you not run the same color, same number on everything? Hey, that's a racing thing, basically. Let's build one more. What are you doing with those pins, boss? The huge pins? I built these a while ago. These were on my Sporty. I can't run them with the loaded dice because they've got too many standoffs in the inside. So the big weight wouldn't fit in there. So these are for my Sporty. I've got the other two sitting over there. I was just checking the clearance in the inside of these. But yeah, those are huge pins, silver and gold. Yeah, these are the golds. The silvers are over there. Sporty backups. Sick rig. Thanks, man. Basically, that is a full deluxe rig. I asked Jason, I said, hey, I was just getting into the MOA Pro Sportsman, whatever you want to call it, series. So I already had my Sporty. So I hollered at Jason at Deluxe and I said, hey, I need a MOA and I need a nice one. I want one that I'm gonna use for a while. So we talked and chatted and he said, I'll build you one like I would build mine. I said, sounds great. Take your time, build it when you can. And he built me that one. And I've been driving it ever since. It wasn't really a scene I was in. So I knew I wanted to go with Deluxe. I love those guys. So I just called in the big dogs and said, hey, set me one up so I can understand how MOA works and runs and let me drive it like that for a while and we'll go from there. So he built me that one. I paid for it. He shipped it. And here we are. Scott's been using the Dremel. Uh-oh. Things are grinding. Things are missing now. I know that. SX6 chassis. I don't know. There was talk because, they were getting super popular for a minute and then they just kind of died off. I haven't heard anything about them. I haven't seen anybody post things about them. The only lately, the only thing I've seen is Kyle at UC Fab talk about building a moon buggy cage, I think, or was it? Yeah, UC Fab doing a moon buggy cage for one. So if he does those, that's gonna be cool. SCX6 moon buggy, how cool is that? There we go. Everyone is selling sixes. They're just huge, man. I mean, I don't know. I drove Kevin's at Fall Crawl last year and burned it up in like 5 minutes, and I felt so bad. Yeah, we were. I wasn't running the SCX6 uh, competition that year, so I was driving the course to make sure that things were doable and things like that while we were building. And I was driving my team driver Kevin Martins, and I literally fried the ESC in minutes, and I felt so bad, And I tried to find another ESC while I was there for him to put in, and so he could run it, and it was just it was not fun. I'd rather have a Super than an SCX6. Shoot, Supers are cool, man, but we definitely don't do anything like that in Ohio. Supers are crazy. They're big. We don't even have rocks big enough for that around here, at least. I mean, if you go somewhere like Hawking Hills or something like that, you can get in the mountains and you definitely could run a super, but we just don't have the rock like that here. I'm gonna try to build a nice course out here at the house. Like I said, if anybody follows me or follows Corrupt, I posted a video up of my thoughts and plans on what to do out here at the new house and how I set it up when I moved to the dirt from the house being built. So I just picked up a tractor last weekend. It took me forever to find one that somebody wasn't wanting a kidney for, but I found me a 1970 Ford 4000 tractor with a front loader. A couple things that need to be fixed on it that I'm going to work on, but then that'll be our workhorse out here at the house. Moving rock, moving dirt, moving gravel, all of that. I can't. I've got probably 20 tons of gravel right behind the driveway I have to move for the farmers to come in to get to the field behind the house. So I needed it for that. And then obviously going to need it for building the crawler course. So I'll get a bunch of big rock delivered and start taking it over there and dumping it on the big. Basically built a huge ramp in the woods with the dirt / clay that the house is built from. We dug obviously for the basement, so we had a ton of dirt, and basically we're going to take. I built a big berm off one side, and then I built a huge ramp that led way into the woods, and it got high at the very end compared to the ground, obviously. And then we're going to stack rocks down the edges and over the top, and then on the end it'll be like a big mountain, real high with different rocks and stuff. So it'll get easier. It'll start easy and then get harder the more you go down. And that tractor is going to be putting the work in for that for sure. So luckily, it got a nice tractor, a powerful tractor that can handle that. It's 57 horse, 3-cylinder diesel. So the loader, like I said, just needs a little work done to it, and then she'll be put to work. That's for sure. Ugh. We've got another smaller tractor here that I rebuilt last year when we were building the house, just to kind of bush hog and everything out here. My wife's family had purchased it a long time ago, and wiring harness was bad on it. There had been so many farm boy fixes and a lot of bad try to fix it, but not knowing what they're looking at type deal. So it took me a while. I fixed that up. It was a 1960 Fortson Dexta. We still got it. It runs like a champ. It bush hogs like a champ for being made in 1960. It is a wonderful tractor. She's still out in the barn and she'll still get used, but the new Ford will definitely be the workhorse. That's for sure. Nice. Class 1. Yeah, Scott's working on his Class 1. He's overthinking everything. That's what he does. You know that. If you know Scott, that's what Scott does. But at the same time, you can't complain because he beats my tail every time we go out, comp anywhere together. Well, that goes for just about all my team drivers. They all pretty much whoop up on me pretty easily. There we go. Now, foam all looks good. Both sides. Let's glue this one. Getting good at it. Moving right on along. Anybody in this area? We made it out to K&K swap meet today. It was pretty nice. Nice to see. It's kind of always like the icebreaker of the start of the year. You know, everybody gets to see each other. We've all been inside all winter. It's nice to see everybody again. Hopefully, everyone gets a little bit of the crawling bug. A little cabin fever broke, basically. It's good to see everyone. Good to chat with them. I didn't set up anything this year, you know, just didn't really have anything used to take out, and people aren't going there for new, so. Oh, I'll let the tire touch. There we go. Might be my best one yet. That was a good one. Whoop, stuck me to it. Let's flip it over. Gotta be careful when you do these. Touch the tire in the wrong area. Just like that one. Man, it blues quick. There we go. Perp's first comp. Yeah, man, Perp's got a heck of a course. It's awesome. I always see pictures of it. I've never been there, obviously, but see pictures of it all the time. Oh, finger touched the glue. There we go. Woo! Oh, got me some. First one of the night. That's pretty good on the third tire. I'll take that. Now the floodgates had opened, though. Oh, see? I did it once. Now it's going to keep going. Stomping grounds. So when I got into the hobby, this area was all mainly sporty and MOA, apparently. But right when I got into the hobby, everyone was switching to scale. So I never got blessed with the awesome sporty and MOA days around here. So luckily, some of the locals and myself, Brian, one of our team drivers, we're going to try to bring at least Sportsman back this year. And then if we can make that happen, we're going to try to bring MOA back maybe the following year. But we got to baby steps. Got to try to get Sportsman back first. And then if that happens, then we'll be good. What you sipping on, Mr. CCW? This, look at that cup, is called Show Pony from a local brewery here in Lebanon, Ohio. It is a quad Belgium brew. It is 9.7% alcohol in a beer. So it's weird. It's got a great beer taste, but then it's got almost like a vodka bite to it. Pretty crazy. But it's good. About 2 glasses in, you'll feel it pretty decently if you haven't ate much for the day or anything. So I really like it. Like I said, it's got a great taste to it, but it definitely has a bite at the end. It's got a high alcohol content bite, which I'm a rum guy anyway, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. If you want a beer and then you got kind of like that rum alcohol bite at the same time. I don't know which one to go on here. I'm gonna go with this other side. That side looked a little better. Tire doesn't always flatten out nice. Nice cup. Thanks. I think my mom got those for me. I can't remember. It's like a Christmas present from somebody. I think it was my mother. I think she had that and some Yetis done with the logo on them. I've got some Yeti cups, obviously. Why that wheel doesn't look like it wants to flatten out too well. Oh, both sides are about the same. Oh, that side's a little better, actually. We'll do that one. Mini seems like it's the gateway to sporty. Yeah, minis are becoming almost as expensive as a sporty, though. That's the crazy part. Some of these guys are telling me what they've got in their minis, and I'm like, holy cow. I mean, I thought that was a cheaper venture into the comp style side of the hobby, but man, what these guys are spending on minis nowadays is incredible. That in there. These tires all worked around here. Using that super thin glue today. Glue's great, but man, if you let a little bit get too much in one spot, it will show you. But can't complain about the results. It's got a little glue on the tire, which I don't typically like, but that's okay. Just have one mix match wheel. So I definitely can't get that off. Same foam though. Just needs to be worn in. We hiding out in Mini. Finding out. Yeah. Mini's crazy, man. It's unbelievable, like I said, what they're spinning in them. Or on them. Flatten this out a little bit. Sitting a little weird. Needs to be ran, obviously. All start out looking like that, and they end up like this after a while. Once it's getting put to the test. So what else? We got 13 people in here. That's pretty good so far, guys. We've been hanging out a while. What, an hour and 35 minutes, continuously by 11 to 13. That's pretty good. Is there a pattern on these, Michael? Oh, I guess there kind of is, isn't there? Well, hey, look at that. I got it right. Wait, I might not have. I didn't think I thought they were direct or omnidirectional. I thought they were pretty much the same both ways. Actually, no, I got it right. Wait. Uh, no, that one's on backwards. Now, well, arrows forward. Dun, dun, trying to see what arrows. These arrows? Yeah, I think I reversed this one. Let me check out these. Hey, these are right. It'll work. Oops. That one's on this side. It's on this side. So the inside would be. Yeah, this one should have probably been this way. I didn't think that they were directional. Well, I guess they are. Yeah, the center peak style. That's all right. I've got some CA dissolve or whatnot. I'll take this face off and spin it to the other side. No biggie. It happens. We'll live with it. We'll just run one way, one the other. You know, it just grips better when you turn. Yeah, science. It don't matter. Just tires. When I go in reverse, that one will grip real good. Yeah, see, I told you I'm still new. I'm new to sporty or pro. That's okay. No biggie. It happens. Yeah, see, it's all strategic. When I go in reverse to self-right myself, that will be the tire it pivots on. Yeah, turning left. It's perfect. When I need to put tension on and come up, it's fine. Well, here's the one I shattered. Look at that breakage. Here's the rim. Rim. All standoffs but one were ripped off. Base is still good though. But that was the carnage. Oh, two standoffs. Never mind. Still good. Oh, yeah. We were not playing. The stubbies did not care that the tire was wadded up into it. They just kept on rolling. Look at that. If I could dissolve the CA glue, I'd be able to get this face off of here, and I could actually match the wheels. I've got some Look at that. I got some MEK right here. I don't know if that'll work though. I don't have anything to put it in right now. That's the good stuff. Dissolve anything and everything. Carnage for sure. And it was like my first or second time out with the truck too. It just somehow, like perfectly on a turn, rolled this tire right in to that rod end, which then sucked it up underneath into this whole knuckle. And then I went into reverse and somehow it wound itself even more. So then I went back forward and then it was just so tangled up, it just kept wadding itself to pieces. Torque, and trying to get it undone during the course. So it just, yeah, J-Bone, Team Brood Stubbies on 4S, they don't care about anything. Yeah, I mean, you can't really like do a video on it. Put the stuff on and let it sit. It'd be kind of a boring video. But I mean, I used to sit there with a knife and just kind of cut, and you were able to get everything off. Even if you didn't have the MEK, you could kind of sit here and just walk around with a good sharp knife and pretty much carve the tire off and then work on getting everything off after that. I used to do that a lot too back in the day when we didn't do a whole lot of beadlocks. It was all glue-ons. But this knife's kind of dull. You used to be able to just walk around it. Yeah, tire shot. Yeah, the only bad thing is like these are like a sandwich glue. So you're sandwiching between the two. Glue on the bottom, glue on the top. Really need to get a better point here. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, they do a little sanding and you're good to go. Let's get a new point. See if that helps us. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, once you take the tire off, it might actually be easier for me to unglue the ring off of this. Man, tough tires. Give it to Deluxe. Even the razor blade doesn't want to let it go. Wow. Gross. Now we're getting somewhere. Rez, what are you up to tonight? Just hanging out? tire. To the trash. Served its purpose for like one run. And bad driving skills took over. Oh, it's kind of coming off. Look at that. Getting somewhere. Yeah, I'll take that. Look at that. Boom. Shakalaka. Done. We'll face off. Trim these up. Get the rubber off there. And then I'll MEK this one off. And then, whoop. Anyway, we'll have a matching set. Just got done making an early dinner. You guys have anything good? I know you guys eat good. Some of that good res cooking. We don't have any of that in Ohio. Come on, guys. What else you got? What questions you got? Anything corrupt wise? Questions? Anything? All right. These off here. Nice. There you go, J-Bone. Rez and his wife put in a ton of work when it comes to videos, man. They are killing it when it comes to that. So as I said it earlier, some of you might be new here on the video, but if you are not familiar with Rez Roland, check out his YouTube, guys. It is phenomenal and full of Corrupt Carbon Works trucks and running. So, Rez style spaghetti. Yeah, buddy. Nothing wrong with that. Let's take some of this off. There we go. Boy, we've done it. We have done it. That is one wheel face ready to go. Boom. Trash, trash, trash. Now, need something. What do I have? Maybe we could drop some MEK on here. Put this underneath in case any of it somehow makes it in the bottom. Let's see what happens here. Drop some around. Guys, it's hard to get this stuff anymore. You really got to order it offline to get the good stuff and not the fake stuff. And if you get the good stuff, called MEK or I forget what the full term is for it. Oh, wow. Oops. You gotta be careful with it because it will eat stuff up. It will definitely eat stuff up. Eat a rat. Here we go. Get off of there. See if it'll release here. There was a lot of glue put on these. It'll take a while, more than likely. Woo-wee. You can put them in a bag with some of this stuff and let it soak. The vapors will sometimes unglue it. All of that. But it is some rowdy stuff. Well on 3 from Plumbing Supply is real MEK. Yeah. Yeah, I ordered this stuff from a chemical company. Kind of try to work in one spot if I can. Oh yeah. Yeah, like a paintbrush or something. Well, went too far again. Oh, see what I'm talking about? Look at that. Team the foam up. Guys, see that? Touched it for like 2 seconds. Got the dye on the back. Don't do it on your Vanquish pit mat. Bad stuff. We actually used to use this when cleaning off the wing boots, the heat boots on airplanes. So once we sealed them back up with the new stuff or the new sealant, once you put the boot on and you pulled the tape, if there was any left over, you had some MEK on a rag and you were able to wipe it off. It was the only stuff that would really take that stuff off. It was crazy. Nothing else would really take that adhesive that we used off. I can't remember what it was though, but MEK was the only thing that would remove what we used. Come on, soften it up. Definitely softening it up. You can see it kind of pulling little strands. I glued it good. The one time you glue it good, that's how it always happens. If I didn't want it to stay on, it wouldn't. Oops, drop some on there. Or soak that up. Pour it each through it. Under. I don't know. Even with the good stuff, it definitely does not want to come off. Definitely softening it up, though. You guys can see like how it maybe getting kind of squishy around it. There's just a lot of glue in there. There we go. That one came off. Man, definitely glued good. Oh, I can see an opening. We're getting somewhere. There we go. It's loosening it up. Something. Do 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 do. It's like surgery. Give me a space between there. Oh, don't rip the tire. Oh, I might have right there. A little blue. Put it back. Woo! A lot of work. Do that thing. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to help in this situation. There it goes. Yeah, I got it. It's ugly on that side, but that'll be the inside at least. Shoo-wee. Got it. Now we can put the right one on there. Trying out. Let's check before we glue anything again, huh? So this is, let's say, arrows forward this side. We need this one. Be like this. So definitely needs to be broken in. She's a tall peak. But arrows forward, arrow forward, face this side. Glue that on and call it down. Try not to put as much on there, but this stuff's so thin. There we go. Locked and loaded. Woo-hoo! Flat map. Thank you, J-Bo. Thank you. That's a little lesson for everybody. A little MEK, a little bit of working, and sometimes a little bit of knife work. Able to get the tires apart. I mean, they got a little glue on them now, obviously, for where it was glued, but nothing's ripped. Everything is still intact and glued good to at least the face. So now we've got this face on there, which matches our other one. Now we're set. Back to having another set of fronts when needed. This one's good. This one needs to be rolled, flatten out. You can definitely see after a little bit of driving how well that one looks and how peaked this one is. This is funny. This is the same exact foam that was out of the foam in this one is the same foam that was out of the broken one. And you can still see how it looks inside the tire, even though it's the same foam. It's just how well they get rounded and everything once you start driving them. Ended up doing the video anyway. We did! Even though I was like, well, that wouldn't be a fun video, but hey, we needed to get it off, and we did. We got it. Make sure these foams get worn in. Stretched out. We'll get there after a couple runs. We did. We did the video. That's a little how-to right there. I could tell people if they need to unglue their tire, just watch that how-to video. Stretch. Starting to flatten out over here. See that? Trying to massage these down. That's right. Can of corn. Boom. All right, guys. I think we're going to call that done for the night. We've got the rig together. You guys can see here. Some of you that just came on or wanted to see it. Super lights. Big, heavy brass basically weight hangers with tungsten weights. We've even got a brass skid to hold the center down. Lightweight, obviously, deluxe Gravtex, deluxe chassis. This does have the NSDRC RS800 servo on the front, V2. It's been pretty good. I mean, I haven't had any issues out of it. I had Eddie build 2 dual stubbies, matching stubbies for it, with my obviously not patented, but black and red setup. So there we go. She's ready to run. We'll get her back out there on the courses. And we'll put her to the test again. But guys, thanks for hanging out. I just had a little bit of RC work, and I figured the cameras were already set up, so might as well do a little bit. And if you guys wanted to join in, I appreciate it. If you are not liked and subscribed on YouTube, go ahead and do that, guys. That way you'll get a message every time I log in to go live. And then this will be throughout the whole year. So not just working on RCs. If I'm out working on the course or anything like that, I should be able to go live from the phone and do that. I can even pick up internet out there. So we might even set up like a tripod with the camera so you guys can see the tractor going and the rocks dropping and some of the team out there helping build it. So like I said, if you're not liked and subscribed, do it. And hopefully you'll be able to see a lot more of this, even maybe some competitions we go to, all that kind of stuff. So guys, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And then we will see you on the next one. All right. See ya. Thanks. Appreciate all the love and support.